we've got a real treat for you right now. A little poll of the crowd. Any fans of Stargate Atlantis? Do I have any brown coats in the audience? I feel like she really doesn't need much more of an introduction, so let's just bring her out here, everyone. It's Jewel Staite!
Hi! You guys made it! You made it in the building. I almost didn't. I went for lunch down the street to the Foggy Goggle. Yeah, man. I had a haddock burger. Where should I sit? This is so weird. Can I move this chair a little bit? Just so I'm not playing favorites to one side of the room. There we go. Now I've got myself in. Okay. I'll figure this out eventually. Hi. I've never been to Halifax. This is my first time this far east in Canada. And you all are very nice, very polite. You love to drink, which means we can be friends. A good friend of mine in Vancouver, I'm from Vancouver, that's where I live now. He is from Halifax, his name's Brett, and he has, I guess, an accent that I've never really noticed. So when we got here, I said, everybody sounds like Brett. That's not his weird way of talking, that's an accent. And we've had some crazy good meals since we've been here. We went to this restaurant last night called The Bicycle Thief. Super good, guys. Super good. And I've had so much seafood, I'm pretty sure I'm going to leave here with mercury poisoning, but that's totally fine and par for the course. So who has questions? Anything goes. There's no one in line, P.S. So come on up. Don't be shy and weird. Well, you're allowed to be weird. This is the venue for weirdness.
I wasn't planning a question, but there was just space.
You were that was lightning speed.
I was sitting right there.
That was great. Well done. She takes direction well. I like this girl.
I'd love to talk about Firefly, but I'm pretty sure that other people behind me will. I wanted to ask what it was like to be on higher ground with what was the best JV class that turned into sci-fi superstars ever.
I guess that's true, huh? A lot of us entered the sci-fi alumni after that. That was super fun. I was 17, and the thing I remember the most about that, we were all around the same age, the whole cast. I think there were 6 or 7 regular cast members. And instead of having separate dressing rooms, they put us in a bus. It was very strange, but a really smart idea. A double-decker bus, and the first floor was hair and makeup, and the second floor was all of our little rooms, our little cubbies. So it was basically like we were this cool rock band on tour. And just had a blast. It was great. And I played this sort of snarky, bratty, very intelligent girl, and that was really fun for me to do.
Thank you.
Good memories from that one. A lot of hiking, though. Why were those kids always hiking? Every episode, we'd be out in the wilderness somewhere in the pouring rain in the Vancouver GVRD, and it was rather miserable and wet and cold. But I learned how to rappel. Yeah. My boyfriend still doesn't think I know how to do that. He's like, you're lying, you don't know how. I do. Yes, hi.
Hi, Jewel. Welcome to Nova Scotia.
Thank you.
I was told not to ask this question, but I'm going to anyway.
Good.
It has to,
I can't wait.
It has to do with the strawberry scene.
Oh, dear.
Okay, now, it has nothing to do with actually eating the strawberry, which was awesome. But anyways.
I never thought that would be such a thing, you know.
Yeah.
I really didn't. You just told me to eat a strawberry, and I ate a strawberry, and we did it in one take and moved on.
That was the question I was going to ask is, was it a one-take shot, or was it multiple takes? Was it one strawberry?
I think it really was one take, because I remember Josh going, okay, that's enough of that. And it's now this weird big deal. I have people that come up to signings with a printout of a screen cap of me eating that damn strawberry.
When you're first given the box and you open up and you go, oh, I forget the line.
Grandpa.
Grandpa. Was the box just empty? Or was there a strawberry in the box?
No, there was a strawberry in the box, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I think. I think so. I can't remember. I was too busy trying to remember my line, which I still remember, which is pretty crazy, guys.
Anyways, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
I actually have 2 questions. Is that okay?
Of course.
Awesome. My second one's for Firefly, but I'll wait for that one. I was actually wondering, I remember me and my sister watched X-Files for the first time a few years ago, and I was just wondering if that was your first acting job, because I remember watching it, I'm like, is that Kaylee? I was 13, I think. My first job was when I was 5. Okay.
I started very young and then just kept with it. But that was shot in between, it was on a hiatus, so I think I had just wrapped Space Cases, and I was about to move on to do Flash Forward for the Disney Channel, and I was really tired, and I just wanted to see my friends, and then I got offered that role, and I sort of said no, or I tried to say no, and my agent was like, you don't want to say no to this one. So yeah, and there I was again, in the wilderness.
Do you remember anything?
Being drowned in a river in a nightgown.
But then you got to be safe, so that was good.
That's true.
Do you remember?
I got mouth to mouth.
Yeah. Was that your first kiss?
I guess it was my first kiss. I guess it was. I mean, as much as that's a kiss, like it was mostly just like a saliva nightmare. And Jillian giving me CPR and bruising my ribs. Yeah, it was a really weird shoot. And then in between takes, because it was the X-Files and they had a lot of coinage, we had this little jacuzzi off to the side in the middle of the woods that they put up, this jacuzzi, and we would all sit in there and get warm. Because we were supposed to be soaking wet anyway. We're in this freezing cold river in October or November or something awful in Vancouver. And then we would all go sit in this jacuzzi with our clothes on. So that's what I remember the most, is sitting in this jacuzzi with Gillian Anderson and David Duchovny, fully clothed, just shooting the shit, really. Very odd.
That's awesome. My second question is, you know what, Buffy, how Joss did a few theme episodes. Sci-fi sort of lends itself well to that sort of creativity, so I was wondering if there was anything that you would have liked to see Joss do if the series had continued.
Oh, lots. You kidding me? We were just getting revved up.
Yeah, I know.
We were just getting started. There was talk about a musical episode. I don't know who brought that up. Probably Alan. It sounds like an Alan thing to say. But that just would have been super weird. All I wanted really was for Kaylee and Simon to get together and for Kaylee to have a baby. I thought that... Did you just laugh? I just thought it would raise the stakes a little bit to have a baby on the ship. And I think she would be a really great mom.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hey there. Did you have any trouble tripping over some of the Technobabble or just general Joss Whedon-esque dialogue that was handed towards you?
It wasn't too bad. The only thing that was really hard, obviously, was the Mandarin. That was really tough to master. And they gave us the translator, the woman who was in charge of making sure we said things correctly, would record herself saying our lines on a tape, and we would take the tape home and play it. Remember tapes? Remember tapes, guys? Yeah. I was terrible at it. It always gave me major anxiety. No one was worse than Alan. He would have his lines written out, his Mandarin written out in tape somewhere on the set, so he could just read it like a cheater. But yeah, the Firefly stuff was easy. The hardest thing I had to do dialogue-wise was on Stargate, just because it was Dr. Babble and Technobabble and sci-fi doesn't make sense, not even a word babble. Like all three of those combined into one is tough. Really, really hard. But I got through it.
growing up, did you have like characters from other movies growing up that you thought of as a role model, people that you wanted to emulate? Any strong female, movie stars, things like this?
Not really. It was funny. I think because I started so young, my job was always just my job. Like it was just this thing I had to do, and every once in a while I miss a birthday party that I wanted to go to or whatever. But it was work. It was a job to me, and I've always treated it that way. And I've never become one of those weird psycho actors that's talking about their craft all the time, because I just don't. I think it's horseshit. It's not. There's not much of a craft, you just have to be really good at faking it. And it's a really, really fun job to have. I was a typical kid. I was obsessed with New Kids on the Block, I was obsessed with New Kids. I had a New Kids on the Block sleeping bag. I had the dolls. I had everything you could possibly have New Kids. I wrote my one and only fan letter to Joey McIntyre. Never wrote me back. Yeah, I was just a typical little girl.
Last question. When's Firefly coming back?
Sit down. Just couldn't help himself. Hello, who are you dressed as? Jokes.
Okay, I have a comment and a question. The comment is just, I normally have a really hard time picking favorites of anything, music, movies, anything, but I was recently asked in a survey, who is your favorite fictional character ever? And Kaylee Fry was just right off the bat, so thanks for that. You're welcome. And my question is on the killing. I know one of your first few lines of dialogue was something about the word serenity, and I know it later played into the plot, so I was wondering, is that just a weird coincidence, or was it something you suggested? How did that come about?
It's a complete coincidence. And I know people don't believe me, but it really was. The writer who wrote my first episode on the killing wasn't really familiar with Firefly or Serenity. And someone in the production office told her and said, you know the reference, right? So yeah, it was a complete fluke, funny enough.
Cool. Thanks.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi, how are you? I don't think that's important.
No, you don't.
I guess my question would be, what was your favorite part of working on Stargate? I actually watched Stargate before I saw Firefly. Well, I'm gonna get lynched, but
Security.
So that's what I was thinking. When I saw Firefly, I always identified you with your Stargate character. I was wondering, what was your favorite part of working on the series?
I had a few favorite parts. I think the number one thing for me was that it shot in my hometown in Vancouver. And I got to spend almost 4 years at home in my own bed with a regular job. It was the best. And it's funny because that's what I wanted. As soon as I wrapped a job, I said out loud, I just want something to fall out of the sky that shoots in my hometown for, a good 3-4 years. Something really easy, really fun, something sci-fi, and the phone rang. Literally, I manifested it out of nowhere. And they offered me the job. It was crazy. My second favorite thing, in all seriousness, was the food. We had the best caterers in the world, Steve and Anthea. And Steve got to know me very well. He's like, she's a good eater, that one. He would make me these breakfast sandwiches every morning. And your call times are quite early on shows. Usually the crew call time is 7 a.m., so we get there at 6 a.m. to start going through hair and makeup. And it got to the point where I would go into my dressing room and a breakfast sandwich would be waiting for me. And it was so good. I don't know what he put in there. I started calling them crack sandwiches because they were so addictive. I got Jason Momoa on them. He would have 2 because he's like a Neanderthal. And David Hewlett was obsessed with them. And then we all slowly started gaining weight. And we're in the same outfit every day. It's a uniform. So I think we each had 2 or 3 uniforms just going in rotation. And I remember going to the wardrobe room and I was like, okay girls, we've got to stop putting my pants in the dryer. They should really be dry cleaned. And they were like, we have been dry cleaned. And Anthea was this amazing pastry chef So you'd go through this whole long buffet line of the most glorious food, and then at the end of the line would be this insane cake that Anthea decided to whip up. It would be, you know, like a 5-tiered marshmallow chocolate cake, and like, it's free. You're not gonna say no. So I just ate my face off. You can see as the seasons go on, David and I are like, it was great. Hello.
I just have a request. Can we move that mic stand back a bit? Because I'm sitting on the end over there.
Which one? This one?
Yeah, because it's really
Watch me.
blocking my view.
You need the view, honey.
Thank you.
How are you guys? Everybody good? Okay. You want me to move it? You guys just want me to walk around. You pervs. Would you like me to move the table?
So my question is, in the comics, it's revealed that Zoe is pregnant with Wash's daughter. Sorry. What do you think?
Also, Wash dies. Quick little story. They I don't know if you guys know this, but they started putting Serenity back in the theaters, I think back in August. And we had Serenity play on 2 consecutive Mondays, I think, in Vancouver. And we bought tickets and snuck in and went and sat, you know, near the front because Mark had never seen it on the big screen. And I don't think he'd seen the movie because when Wash dies, everyone gasps in the crowd, and Mark goes, "Wash dies?" I was like, "You told me you saw the movie." Also, a long time ago, we were at a convention when we were first dating, and someone had a Jane hat. And I was like, "Oh, see, look, that's a Jane hat. You remember Jane from Firefly?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, which one was she in?" Outed. Yes.
So my question is, what do you think Kaylee's relationship would be with the baby on the ship as they grow up?
I think she would be amazing. She'd be a great big sister. You know, she was that way when she wasn't terrified out of her mind with River. She has a maternal thing in her, I think, that's very strong. She's got a really strong feminine energy to her. So I think she'd be great babysitter.
First, welcome to Nova Scotia. Hope it won't be a long trip. We have a lot of good restaurants, a lot of great food,
I know.
a lot of microbreweries.
That's what I hear.
And wineries.
And wineries. Well, I went to one wine bar last night. I went to a wine bar called Obladi.
Obladi, yeah.
It's great.
I have 2 questions. I can do that. I'm a cripple. Look it up. First question is, it's a great series, but it's getting a little old. Do you get tired of that being asked Firefly questions, or?
No, I don't. The only one that makes me go, oh god, is when people ask me if there's going to be a season 2. And I get it often. Still, I mean, it's been 10 years. People are like, so when's season 2 coming on? I'm like, really? Really? Okay. But for the most part, I mean, maybe because it was so short-lived, who knows? It has nothing but positive memories associated with it for me. So it's something I'm very happy to live over and over again.
Second short question, even as a heterosexual male, I have a big pro-crush on Nathan Fillion. I'm still really. What was it like to work with him? You seem like he'd be a fun guy.
Nathan is insane. He'll do anything for a laugh. He's a huge goofball. He doesn't take himself too seriously, which I love so much. And I found, especially coming onto a show, you know, as a guest star or somebody new, like in Stargate, usually the lead actor, the person that's at the top of the tier, sets the precedent and sets the mood a lot of the time. So if you have a jerk who's the star of the show, it just brings everybody's mood down. People just tiptoe around a lot, and it can, you know, make the experience less than enjoyable. And Nathan has this great energy. He's very grateful. He's super fun, and he was the kind of guy that would say hello to the guest star and make sure they knew where craft service was and the bathroom was, and you can hang out with us at lunch. And you know, he wanted everybody to have a great time and take that away from them. He's still a very, very close friend of mine. We were at his house last weekend. He texted me and said, "I went to this crazy haunted house last night. I think you should fly down." Really? And he was like, "Yeah, why don't you just come down next weekend? We'll go to this haunted house." So I said, "Mark, you want to go?" "Yeah, okay, let's go." So we went down to LA and had the most bizarre experience at this haunted house. It was an interactive haunted house. So it takes place in an old church, which is creepy enough. And all of these actors are throughout the church, and you basically have to interact with them. So there's a lot of improv, and you have to solve this, you know, mystery, this ghostly mystery, basically, to get out of the haunted house. And Nathan, being Nathan, has this very odd circle of friends. Like, he'll throw a party, and you know, just the weirdest cast of characters will be there. I don't know where he meets these people. So we get to this haunted house with Nathan, and we meet up with his group of friends, and Seth Green is there, and Macaulay Culkin. Okay? So I want you to picture me and Nathan, and Alan was there as well, Tudyk, and Mark, who's not an actor, okay? Mark's a scientist. So he doesn't do improv. And Seth Green and Macaulay Culkin going through this haunted house, okay? So we're in a room, and these actors are coming up to us going, "We need to find the other half of the cipher to get to the Dark Lord." And Macaulay's like, "Where is the cipher for the..." And you know, we're all like it was like a weird dream. And we looked at each other at one point, and Mark was like, I feel like I need to wake up from this. Like, it was so strange. But that's Nathan. He just has all these weird people, random, you know, celebrities. But it was great, and he's such a good pal, and extremely generous, and a very amazing host. And I just love him. I love him a lot. He's like my big brother.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And during one of your signing sessions, I'd be honored if you signed my chair.
Absolutely. I would love to. It'll be my first chair. I signed some weird stuff, you guys. So you wouldn't believe it. I signed a boob, and then she got my signature tattooed on her boob. I'm not kidding. It was awesome. Is your name on anyone's boob? No. Mentioned Circuit as me this year, and we were in Louisville, Kentucky in August, and it was basically just me and him palling around all weekend, and he got it in his head that we needed to drink as much whiskey as possible because we were in Louisville, so we kept going to these whiskey bars. And he would, you know, we'll have 10 shots of your best whiskey, and then we'd do like our own little private whiskey tasting. So that was a wicked hangover. Yeah, I try and keep in touch with all of them, and we're all still very tight. Like I said, I don't know, it was a funny thing, that show. We all clicked immediately and have nothing but positive memories associated with it, except for the whole fact, you know, the canceling thing, but whatever. They're great friends.
Thank you, and we hope you come back sometime.
Thank you, me too. I've only scratched the surface in restaurants. I have a list this long.
We also have some great bars.
Oh, I do know that.
On top of being a Firefly fan, I also really enjoyed the LA complex, and I'm wondering about the differences in culture, the sci-fi versus the young adults, and what that was like, if there were any experiences that you could compare.
I mean, it's very rare when I'm at a convention and someone mentions LA Complex. I don't think those two fandoms are one and the same necessarily. But LA Complex is something I did because it was so different. The character was so different from anything else I played, and I'm so glad I did it. It was difficult. It was a very hard role to play, and it pushed me. And there was a lot of improv, there was a lot of thinking on your toes, and I had the best time, and it's something, I think it's one of the things I'm the most proud of that hardly anybody saw. But it was such a great time. I loved doing that show.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello.
So, I'm not sure I'm allowed to ask this. It might be copyright. But as everyone in here knows, it was asked last night, very publicly. So...
What is it?
Who would be... Excuse me, sorry. Who would be able to fix the Millennium Falcon better? Kaylee or Scotty?
Wait. Who won in the debate?
Scotty.
What the fuck?
We tried.
Wow.
It was really close though.
Yeah. Neck and neck, huh? Oh man!
She was arguing for your team.
You were?
I was on stage.
Thank you. I know you did. You brown coats are crazy. You did. Oh man, that's... Oh well. Me, I think is my answer to that question. Just to clarify.
Thank you.
Oh man.
Hi there.
Hi.
So, when you were on Stargate Atlantis, obviously you had a main part in that show, but earlier on you also had a small role as a child Wraith. And I was just wondering what it was like for you to, in the moment, experience all the stuff you were doing with that, like the makeup and everything, and then B, to then come back later on the show and end up doing the bigger stuff, and what was like the comparison of those two things for you?
When I auditioned for the role of the Wraith, it came through. I was at home, I was in Vancouver in between jobs, and read the script, didn't know what a Wraith was, had never seen the show, and just thought it was really interesting character. So I said, I'm gonna audition for this. And I went in, and apparently the producers in the audition session, when I came in, were like, why is Kaylee auditioning for our show? So they gave me the job, and they were like, yeah, we'd love to have you. And then they asked me to go through various things to prepare for the role. I had to get my face cast. I had to have my eyeballs measured for contacts. I had to have a cast made of my teeth so they could put in fake teeth, and I'm going, what is going on? And then my first day of work, my call time was 3:30 a.m. to start hair and makeup. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. It was brutal, brutal. My mom came to visit set and walked right by me. I was sitting in a chair, she walked on set, and I went, hi, and she went, hi. And kept walking. It's funny when you look that crazy, people are afraid to talk to you. It's the weirdest thing, and ever since then, people on sets that are in major prosthetics, I always make a point to say hello and sit with them, because it's a funny thing, no one really wants to talk to you. So once that ended, they asked me to come back, and they said, would you be willing to come back as the Wraith girl? And I said, no. Super uncomfortable. It was, at the end of the day, everyone else would be wrapped, and then it would take me an hour to get the makeup off. So it was just grueling. And then they asked if I would be willing to come back and be the new doctor, and I said, any prosthetics? No? Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I have a comment and a quick question. I went and saw you a couple years ago at Polaris.
Oh.
And you were talking about cooking bacon in the oven.
Yes.
And I just wanted you to know that it changed my life.
It changes your life. It's the best.
Best thing ever.
It is, because you don't have to, it's not everywhere, all over there's no splatter. Yeah, I know, it's amazing. If you guys haven't done this, you have to do it. Cook your bacon in the oven, you crazy people. On a broiler pan, and all the fat goes down in the center, and it's brilliant. Anyways, yes.
And then I have a very serious question.
Oh.
I was curious as to who was a better kisser, Sean Marr or David Hewlett.
That's like, who's a better kisser? Your older brother or your younger brother? Sean just smells like a rose. He does, and his skin is just flawless. He's like a little Barbie. Like a boy Barbie. He's just so perfect. And David and I were so, the reason why they, from what I've heard, wrote the love story into Stargate was because David and I were really good friends and we had natural chemistry. We would, you know, be bitching and grumbling at craft service together every day, and, you know, we were just two peas in a pod. So I think that's why they started that storyline, but didn't, you know, wanted to make out with him. Like, I know David's wife really well, and she was pregnant, and it's just like, this is so wrong, all of this is just wrong, wrong, wrong. And I think when we first kissed, or one of the bigger kissing scenes was on that little plane in the episode Brainstorm, and they couldn't turn the AC on in the plane because it was making too much noise for sound. So it was insanely hot, and we were sweating, and then we had to like start making out, and we were both like, ugh, I can taste your sweat, this is so gross. So yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Hi.
Hi.
So after hearing that you hate getting questions like, hey, when's it coming back? When's Firefly coming back? I had to ask, since it's been such a long time, if they did bring the show back, it would have to be a time lapse or something like that. And that leaves a lot of room for character development in the meantime. So where would you want to see Kaylee go if it came back?
I don't know. Joss was talking about wanting quite a lapse in time, just so we could age a little bit. He wanted to start a whole new story fresh, you know, a good while later. I'm not sure. I would kind of leave that up to him. I know he's always had ideas up his sleeves. Yeah, I would just be excited to see what was written for me. You know, he's a good writer, that guy. He's all right, that Joss. Crazy dancer, but thank you.
I got like 2 questions.
Oh, my life. Sometimes I just look around and go,
First question, if you were a superhero, what would your superpower be?
ooh, if I were a superhero.
And what would your name be? That's the same question.
What's that, honey?
And what would be the name of your superhero as well? That's the same question.
Oh, man. The name of the superhero?
Yeah.
Bacon Girl. My ability to perfectly cook bacon every single time. You know, I'll say something lame, and I would want the power to heal. I think that would be a good one to have. But then, you know, I would only heal the people I really liked.
Bacon!
Huh?
Heal with bacon.
Heal with bacon. Now we're just getting crazy.
Second question, what was the best memory you ever had at a con?
At a con?
Yes.
Oh, I've got some good ones. One of the best memories I have was at San Diego Comic-Con. It was after the show was canceled, and we were all invited, the whole cast, to go and do a Q&A, and we had no idea of the popularity. And there were, I think, 8,000 people in this room waiting for us to talk. And we all got kind of choked up. Just a really, really amazing moment. A lot of gratification I think we all needed after the show came to an end. But yeah, you know, I think a lot of my craziest memories all take place at this convention called Dragon Con. I don't know if you guys have been. Have you been? If you haven't been, you have to go. It's in Atlanta, Georgia. It's on Labor Day weekend every year. And it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. I think there were 70,000 people there the last time I went. It's nuts. But it's fan run. So it's really fun. It's not super corporate. I find San Diego Comic-Con can be a little bit corporate. You know, the studios fly us in, we do a Q&A, quick signing, and they fly us out kind of thing. Dragon Con is just a totally different animal. I was stuck in an elevator with a bunch of stormtroopers. But like, for whatever reason, one of them had a boombox, like an old school 80s boombox, and he was like playing hip hop, and they were all dancing in the elevator, and I was like, what is going on? Yeah, that convention is crazy. You have to go. Have to.
Alright, thank you. Also, it was nice seeing you in the elevator.
That's right. Now I get to take that memory with me.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm just kind of wondering. Well, I imagine it's a super busy life as a celebrity. So I was kind of wondering, what do you have for hobbies, or what do you do to unwind?
Well, I write a food blog. Don't know if you know about that. Woo! It's called Happy Opu, OPU.net. And a Happy Opu, I spent a lot of time in Hawaii when I was a kid. And a Happy Opu is tummy. And it's a really nice way of referring to someone's expanding midsection. She has a Happy Opu, that kind of thing. So I called it that. So I love to write that. I have a very large, very loud, crazy group of friends that I see often. We do dinner parties and go out for girl nights and all that stuff. I love to travel. I'm normal. I mean, I like to see movies and go shopping and online shop while I'm watching movies. Yeah, I wish I could say something more original, but I'm just a regular girl.
That's awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
A while back, my friends were harking on me because I had never heard of Firefly.
I love your accent so much. Can I just say that?
Yeah,
it's so cute.
And so I finally got the series, and I spent basically an entire weekend binge watching it along with the movie. And yes, I've been told that as well. And so my question is, do you ever binge watch Firefly or any series for like an entire weekend?
I do watch Firefly every few years over again. I love introducing it to someone. It's really fun for me. I'm very proud of it.
Because it's amazing.
Thanks. I think it's pretty darn good too. I am a binge watcher though. That's sort of what I do. I have Apple TV, which has also changed my life, besides bacon in the oven. And I pick a show and then just plow through it. I just watched Damages, season 1. It's insane. And then I started watching Homeland, because Marina was in it, or is in it. And I watched season 1 of that and loved it, and then had to wait for season 2 to come out, and then just finished binge watching that episode after episode. So yeah, see, I'm just like you.
Awesome. Stay shiny.
Thank you.
I have 2 questions. One, which cast was more fun to work with, Atlantis or Firefly?
I can't. That's like asking me who my favorite sibling is, which I could tell you, but then they would know. What's your second question?
The second one is, which group of fans are more insane, Firefly or Atlantis?
You know what? They're very different. They're very different groups of people. I would say brown coats are just, there's something different about the brown coat community. And I mean that in the best way. We're just very devoted. And I know a lot of brown coats who have met each other through the show in various ways, at conventions or online and all that, which I love to hear. They're like little brown coat babies now and stuff. You guys are a randy bunch.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Since the Ridley Scott Aliens universe and Firefly are the exact same universe. Yes, they are.
Okay.
Have you seen the Alien movies?
I've seen the first one.
Okay, which would be scarier to find? A ship full of Reavers or a ship with one alien in it? Since they're in the same universe.
You know, I would say Reavers, just because there's so many of them, and they'd be crazy, but at the same time we could take them, because we did. Well, she did, but whatever. We helped. Thank you so much. You guys, you've been awesome. Thank you for waiting in lines. I know it's crazy.